We've announced this morning 1 billion in profits for the year ended March, but we will have effectively no passengers for the 3 months of April, May, and June. And I think it's a remarkable number for the business that we'll only lose, something north of about 200 million during that quarter when we have no passengers and our entire fleet has been grounded.
When we last spoke, you were announcing that you were resuming flights in the beginning of July. Is that still on course? What's happened since then?
It is, and bookings are building nicely. I think they got a major fillip over the weekend when the Italians announced that from the 3rd of June they're reopening the country. They're removing the hopelessly ineffective 14-day isolation that nobody can police or implement anyway. And I think a lot of European countries, most notably those that are reliant on tourism, will over the next number of weeks lift their restrictions. They'll waive this 14-day isolation rule, which is idiotic and non-science based. And I think we'll see people moving again with some degree of freedom in July and August, as long as, in the case of Ryanair, our passengers and our people are all wearing masks, because it looks like masks is the most effective way of preventing any recurrence of COVID-19 or the spread of COVID-19. Whereas, the 14-day isolation that the British government have announced is completely ineffective, because you've people coming in from airports, getting on the London Underground or the Gatwick Express trains and London Underground, and yet apparently only when they arrive at their destination then they have to isolate, but nobody on the trains or the Underground has to isolate. It's nonsense.
So do you think the UK government is singling out aviation for particularly harsh treatment?
No, I think they're just, frankly, just making stuff up as they go along. They're stumbling along, grabbing whatever they think will make a headline. But there's no there's no scientific or medical basis for a 14-day isolation for air passengers when you're not applying that equally to London Underground passengers or London commuter train passengers. And we heard Grant Shapps over the weekend talking about, we need to reduce the volumes on the Underground by 90%. Or how do you do that? And when you ask them these questions, they're completely unable to answer them. So I think what we need is more effective government, more effective measures. And really the most effective measure at the moment as we reopen our economies is everybody wearing masks, whether that's in shops, in underground stations, on buses or in aircraft.
Back to the 14-day quarantine period briefly. Spain have obviously still got that in place. You're optimistic Spain will drop that in due course?
We think it'll be dropped, particularly in the tourism destinations on the beaches where, if you look at Spain, most of their COVID problem has been in the major high population density cities, Madrid, Barcelona, and some of the others. Same in Portugal. It's been in Portugal, Lisbon. It's not in the Algarve. It's not been on the beaches. And I think those countries will, over the next couple of weeks, as we believe the British government will too, will focus on how do we reopen the tourism economy during kind of July, August. The tourism economy creates sustains a huge volume of employment. And we've got to get these sectors back moving again in a way that maximizes public health. And that is face masks, not idiotic 14-day isolation in somewhere where the government can't define where you would actually even isolate.
And the bookings that you've been taking since you announced that you were resuming flights from in July, what sort of prices have they been compared with last year?
They're well down on last year. We're selling seats at the moment to Spain, to Portugal, to Spain, or to Italy and Greece at, 39, 29, 39 one way. We've lots of availability in July and August. And what we're seeing, though, is family groups making bookings. It's quite clear to us that, the British public, the Irish public are going on holidays to Spain, to Portugal, to Italy. Those countries will open up. They're generally going on their 2-week annual holiday anyway, so they can manage a kind of a 14-day isolation period. But we think those isolation periods, which are hopelessly ineffective and in fact unmanageable, will be dropped in the next couple of weeks. We hope in favour of more effective measures such as temperature controls and face masks.
And what progress are you making on refunds?
Well, we're doing well, given the historic backlog we have. We have a backlog of about 50 million refunds to process. Thus far, over the last 6 weeks, we've now processed about 300 million euros worth of refunds. We're about a quarter of a way through the backlog. We're continuing to process refunds, but as we reopen, we see more and more customers taking vouchers, or more importantly, free moves of their original booking into a future booking in July, August or September.
So the message for customers who are concerned that they haven't received a refund yet is what? Be patient, bear with us.
Just be patient. We will get there. But remember, I mean, our refunds team has been reduced by three quarters because of the social distancing regulations in our offices here in Dublin, in Spain, and in Poland. We are processing refunds. If you want a cash refund, you will get it. Just be patient. It will take us some weeks or months to get it to you.